Welcome to Microsoft Excel for Beginners 101. I'm Arthur Cameron, so excited to share with you this course. If you want to boost your skills, you need Microsoft Excel. It is a course that is in demand. And so welcome to Microsoft Excel for Beginners 101. But first, let's have a look at what students say. Thank you for helping me. I knew very little prior to taking the course. That was Warren Issel. The lessons were interesting and good. I enjoyed it. Naomi Malchas. I learned a lot. I'm so glad I took the course. Lucretia Lucas. And so let's get started and look at our course overview. Microsoft Excel for Beginners. Lesson 1, we will walk you through the screen layout or the interface. In lesson 2, we will be doing basic formulas. And in lesson 3, we will help you to create a chart, a 3D column chart. Good. So let's get started. Now, let us just look more closely at the lesson 1 overview. So, the screen layout, we're going to look at what all these little tabs and functions, what they do. We're going to look at what is a ribbon, cells, columns, rows, and worksheets. And if you think that Microsoft Excel is intimidating, you've come to the right place. And so, as we look at our first blank worksheet, now when we compare this to Microsoft Word, Word has got a blank screen. Excel has got a screen with blocks, and we call these blocks cells. Now, you can think of it this way. This is a blank canvas, and we're going to be artists. You and I are going to be the artists on this blank canvas, and you will soon see how this is going to fill up. Are you excited? Yes, so let's go. And so we have a blank screen, and we have little blocks. These little blocks are referred to as cells. So we're no longer call them blocks, we're going to call them cells. And so when I click there, you will notice that it's A. From my left to right, these are the columns. So we refer to it as A1. First column, first row. So we say A and 1. That is how we identify the cell. The second one will be obviously B2 and then C3. That is how we can click and understand the location of the cursor. Now, if I put my mouse pointer over there, it will show me name box. I am aware that you may not see the same thing, but please just follow the instruction and put your mouse cursor over there, and we call that the name box. What is the purpose of the name box? It is the locator. It tells me exactly where I am in my worksheet. You will see that name box now indicates C3. Good. So that is the name box. Now imagine that your worksheet, the entire screen that you are looking at, is a worksheet. In fact, if we say workbook, and a book has got pages or sheets in Excel. And you will notice at the bottom here, I've got quite a few sheets named at the bottom. Your one will show sheet 1, but not to worry. We have a workbook containing worksheets. Good. So the entire screen in front of you, it's our worksheet, and we're going to create a spreadsheet in this worksheet within the workbook. Good. Now the next one we notice is formula bar. Yes, if you keep your mouse pointer over there, where it says the FX, and you go there, into that little space there, it is the formula bar. Now, what is the formula bar? Tell us. Now, in the next lesson, we're going to be creating basic formulas. So I'm just going to create a straightforward little formula. Do not worry as to how I do the formula. It is more important for you to look at what the formula bar tells you. So I'm going to go with 2 and 3. And I'm going to do a calculation, a formula. Do not worry about the formula. Just stay with me. I want you to notice what happens in the formula bar. Now we know 2 plus 3 is 5. But more importantly, what has happened in the formula bar? We have a formula over there. And I'm going to click on there and you'll see this is what happened. It actually tells me the formula that I've used, and it indicates to me what are the elements of that formula. It is A2, which is where the 2 is, and B2, that's where the 3 is. And my formula is then displayed in C2. Good. So if I click away, C2 will now only display the 5, the calculation or the answer to the calculation. Okay, and I will click on there and my formula bar shows me the formula. That is the point here. The formula bar will display the formula that you used. Not to worry about the formula at this stage. It is what is the formula bar displaying to me. I'm going to delete this. Good. Now that was the formula bar. Now let's start with the tabs from left to right. Good. So we have File, and I'm going to click on File, and no surprise, it has Save As. In Save As, I'm just going to tweak this a little bit and just add a V to it, and then save. File, Save As. File also gives us print, obviously. Good. Let's just confirm that. See over there, it gives us the print. Good. Now let's get back to the Home tab. Now it always returns to the Home tab. Good. There is a Home tab. On the Home tab, now let's look at the familiar functions of the Home tab. Yes, we have cut, copy, and paste. We have our font and font size change. We have bold, italics, underline. And we also have our font color. So those are familiar tabs, familiar functions. Then we have over there, we have our alignment. And we have wrap text, which we'll get to. And we'll have merge and center. Let's just see what the merge and center function does. If I select in the first row, I'm selecting A1, B1, and C1. What I want to do with that, I'm going to click the Merge and Center tab and see what happens. It has joined the first row. I'm going to do something else now. I'm going to copy some text into there. Beg your pardon. Copy some text in there, and there we are. Now what has happened? It's copied the text and the color. Good. But more importantly, look at what has happened. When I click in that selection, it says merge and center is active. Good. It's got a dual function. It has joined or merged, and it is center aligned the text. So whatever text I would put in there will be center aligned. That is your merge and center. Good. Now remember, your columns go from left to right, and it's from A right to K. And it can go on and just carry on till Z and beyond, depending how big you want your spreadsheet to be. This side on the left, the rows run from 1 to 19, but it can go beyond. Just understand, depends how big your spreadsheet is going to be. We're going to create a smallish spreadsheet for Jimmy's Electronics, and we're going to work our way through this little spreadsheet. Remember I said earlier, we are two artists and we are on this blank canvas and we're creating. It's Excel, it's amazing. You can create. Good. And so let's go to the next tab. The next tab is insert. We can insert a shape, such as I showed you here. This was done in Excel. These were all shapes that I inserted. And you can obviously add color to your shape, full color. Good. And now we're going to look at the next function on the insert tab, and that is smart art. I'm going to click on there, and I'm aware that you may not see what I have on my screen, but I'm going to use one of these smart arts, and we're going to say you will be seeing it very, very soon. Let's click on that and say OK. And there we go. I've inserted an upside down triangle or upside down pyramid. Doesn't matter. Good. Now you must remember that Excel, it's all about presentation of data. So you can insert shapes to enhance your presentation, or you can use smart art. I'm just going to put some text in there for you to see. Good. You with me so far? Good. So we've inserted a smart art, and I'm just going to go back to the instruction as to how I did it. I clicked on insert, and then I had some options here, and I chose the smart art, this little green tab over here, and then I had a great selection of smart art graphics that I can use. Good. Going to just sometimes it just, there we go. So we have deleted that. We don't need that for now. Good. Now the insert tab is also mainly used for inserting charts, and that is where this is the area where there is the main focus. When users of Excel use insert, they would primarily use it to insert charts. And if I click on the first one, it gives me an option to insert a 2D column chart or a 3D column chart. Charts will be done. It is for lesson 3, but I'm just showing you the tabs. Remember, it's about learning the interface, the screen layout. So here we have, you may not see what I have on my screen, but you have an option. If you follow the instruction, it's click on the insert tab and you go follow my cursor and go over there. It will give you the drop down for the column charts, and you will have an option 2D or 3D. We'll get back to that later. You also have an option in terms of a line chart as well as a pie chart. So that is the insert tab for now. Then you have page layout next to, remember we're going from left to right. So then we have the page layout. What you want to be doing with this is that you want to be selecting, do you want portrait, your display to be in portrait, which is obviously down this way, or do you want your display to be landscape? So that is the option you have under the orientation, under page layout and orientation. Then we have a formula tab. Now Excel has pre-programmed built-in formulas. And if you click on the formula tab, it will give you a little E that is funny. Some people call it a Z. Okay, and then it says auto sum. And when you click on the down arrow, it'll give you sum, average, count numbers, max, min, and more functions. I'm aware that you may not see this on your screen when I clicked on the down arrow, but follow the instructions. It is formulas, click, and then auto sum, and you'll get the drop down. Good. Then also, Excel also allows you, and follow my cursor, Excel allows you also to show formulas. Remember the formula that I created earlier? Excel allows you to show the formula. Now imagine your document is from A, say, to K, and from 1 to 19, and you want to be searching, you're looking for a formula that you use and you can't remember. And so you can simply just instruct Excel to show all the formulas on your document. And that is what this tab is all about. Good. So that was the formula tab. And next to it, it is the data or data. You click on it. And one of the functions of this is it will allow you to sort your data within a spreadsheet, A to Z or Z to A. Good. Then we have the review tab, mainly used for spell check, as in Word. Very important that you spell check your document before you do a presentation. And that review tab and spell function will allow you to do that. And then you can also boost the view of your document, such as what I have. Yours will show 100% view. Mine is zoomed up. And I can just click on there and it'll show you mine is zoomed up so that it's clearer for illustration purposes. Good. So that was all the tabs from file to the view tab. Excellent. Let's back to the home tab. Good. So now we're going to enter some data onto our almost blank canvas. At the moment we've only got Jimmy's Electronics on there, and I'm simply going to copy the data for the sake of time, and you're going to have to enter the data on your side. So we're going to select, go back to the workbook, click where I wanted to start, and there we go. So the system has now copied the data for me from there to there. And I'm going to allow you a couple of minutes to enter the data because we need the data to do our next task. So while I'm this side, I'm going to just organize myself. You're going to go ahead and complete. Now we're going to take it from the top. You're going to do the merge and center. So you're going to click on A1 and drag your cursor right across to D1. And then you're going to hit the merge and center tab. Once you've done that, you're going to enter the data, Jimmy's Electronics. And don't worry about the size at this stage. We'll fix that. The next you're going to be entering is A2 item, and then stock price, and so on. You move on. And to get, you will see when I highlight, you select, it gives item, but notice up here, this is active. it is bold and underline. So once you've typed in the data, you will be selecting all of them and click on bold and underline. Good. And then you might have a concern over here. Now this you'll see, remember I said we'll get back to wrap text. This is this function over here, and I'm going to click it off to show you. So we have stock price, but we have it next to each other. I want stock price to be above price, stock to be above price. How do I do that? Once I've typed it, I click on wrap text, nothing happens. I simply have to pull my column to the left. Now your one might not be like that, your one will be like that. And it simply means that once you've reduced the size of the column, remember you can reduce the size of the column between, if you click in between the B and the C, for example, there's a little line. You click on that line and you can drag your column to the left or right. And now you have to open your row to display the word price. So the same that you did there, you will be doing the same over there. Good. And then you'll be typing the rest of the text and the amounts over there and this over here. Now when you get to profit margin, you're going to be typing and it will probably give you 1,5. For example, let's just do it over here. Okay, this fortunately gives us, but you might have a situation where you have something like that. It simply means that you have too many decimal places. Okay, so let's just do it over here and for you to see, you might have something like that, or you might have 2 decimal places. All you need to do after you've typed everything is you simply click over here and then you reduce your decimal. Now this has been formatted, so you reduce your decimal places like that. Good. Just take that away. Okay. Just give you a few minutes just to do your typing your text. Good, and we're back. You've typed all the text. You've typed this over here. And you've typed in your amounts. And now we must do the formatting. Good. Over here we have a color formatting. We have simply selected it. And we went to this little bucket over here. And we completed. We put in that color over there. Over here in the D column we just did the same thing for selling price. We did exactly the same and we chose that color. You can choose any color. And this was this gray shading over here. Same thing. We selected that and we did that. And now we must format our columns to make our calculations, our formulas easier. And so we're simply going to select or highlight. And you'll see that your tab shows there, it shows general. Now we're going to format that column to what is called the local currency. Good. Now I'm from South Africa, so my currency is Rand 0.00. Yours might be different depending on the country that you are in. So it's a local currency. It might be dollars, it might be pound. You go with the local currency. So I'm going to click on currency. and see what has happened. And now something else has happened. Something else interesting has happened. It's given me some hashes there. What does it actually mean? Simply means that my column is too small. Open it up a little bit, and there it displays my local currency 0.00. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to just remove that back there, and we do it one more time slowly. So we select, in fact we can select to there, and we're going to click on the tab says general, and we're going to click on the down arrow, drop down, and we're going to select the local currency, and there we have it. Now let's move to this one. We've already touched on the profit margin column, but we're going to do it again. Good. Now this might show number, general. General. Let's put it on general. Yes. And now we want to format this to number with only one decimal. So let's go. Same procedure as with currency. Drop down, number. Number gives us what I said earlier, the 2 decimal places. So I'm going to highlight or select it, and I'm going to I only need 1 decimal place. So I'm going to, instead of increasing the decimal, this one, no, we don't want to increase it, otherwise it goes that way. We want to decrease to only 1 decimal place. And that is how we do it. And now we're also going to, and you can now do this, and you can guess what are we wanting in the D column. We want, I hear it, we want currency. Excellent. So we're going to format this one also to the local currency. Okay. We can't see anything because there is no text in here, but we're going to test it. So I'm going to just hit the number 4, and there you see. That is how you test whether your formatting has been done correctly. And so I've set up our document for the next lesson. You with me so far? Excellent. Excellent. Say that. And so thus far, if you've received value out of this, we're asking that you smash that like button, smash it, and subscribe to the channel in appreciation. Alright, now we're going to move over to our next lesson. So let's have a look at our next lesson overview. Remember, we only have 3 lessons in this course. The next lesson is basic formulas. So we're going to create, from our spreadsheet that we created earlier, we're going to create basic formulas. So let's have a look at our workbook. So now this is our workbook, and there we have our instructions to create a formula. Creating a formula. There are the instructions. But now you must see something else. You must see that, oh, there are more columns. And you are right. We have an extra column, the E column. So all you do is create another column next to selling price per unit, and you're going to call it total selling price including profit. And you just click in the next in E2, and then you just type in the heading as it is here, the column heading. This is referred to as the heading of the document, and these are referred to as column headings. Once you've done that, we're going to add another column, and that's how I'm going to show you how to insert a column. So we're going to insert a column between C and D. So we simply click on the D, indicating that I want to move that to insert my column, new column in between. So I would right click on my mouse. Let's just do that again slowly. We first select where this new column must go. So we decided it must be between the C and the D. And so we click on the D and we right click. And now we simply click on insert. And now this gives me the space now to add another column, and we're going to call it quantity. Excellent. And there's quantity. And now I've got column A, B, C, D, E, and F. Excellent. So let's first create a formula for the selling price. Just going to take this out. See, that is unnecessary now for now. Good. So what does common sense tell us? Now remember, we started off. I can just go back. There we've created this spreadsheet. And now we're in lesson 2. And we have, beg your pardon, added. And our spreadsheet is actually growing. It's looking very nice. Remember the canvas. We are artists. Good. So now let's just see. Let's have a look and take a step back and view our spreadsheet. Jimmy's Electronics sells tablets, Samsung tablets, earbuds, Canon printer, smartphones, and phone chargers. And he's got the stock price of his item listed. He's got his markup, which is the profit margin. He needs to know what is the selling price. So he wants to know, can you work out for me in this spreadsheet program, what is my selling price? So what does common sense tells us? We've got 2 figures to work with. We've got that one and that one. Good. Now it tells you here, creating a formula. Select the cell. And we've done that over here. We know the answer to the first one, to the Samsung tablet, must be in E3. And now it says the formula always starts with is equal to. So I type the is equal to sign. I normally prefer to add a bracket, work with in between my brackets. Do that. Now we need to take in that one into account. Because it says select a cell or type its address in the selected cell. And the address is B3. Are we agreed on that one? Good. Now what is the operator that we need? Do we have to minus? Do we have to plus? Do we have to divide? We have to multiply. The stock price times the profit margin. Good. And our operator is the star, which is shift and 8 on your keyboard. And now what is the next cell? Over here it says select the next cell. It is the profit margin. And I can simply just close my bracket. And then it tells me I can press enter, or I can just click. Let's press enter, and there we go. That is our calculation. Because we have now inserted a formula, it gives us what is the selling price per unit. Does it make sense? Yes. And I'm going to click in here and just show you how that formula was created. Now what about it? We're going to create another one in the similar way. So here it is. The system has highlighted in blue the stock price of the tablet. It's given me also a reddish highlight for the profit margin. And then it gives me the formula within this little cell. And also, remember, formula tab gives you the formula that you've created. And if I click away, there is my price. Excellent. Now we're going to create another one. It's equal to, I prefer open the bracket. And then we simply click on that little cell. And then we're going to put in our operator, which is the multiplication. And then we're going to click in the next one. And we're going to close our bracket. And it says press enter. And that's our next calculation. You with me so far? Good. Now the question is, do I have to type a formula for each entry? Remember the spreadsheet can be way long, from 1 to 19. So I'm going to be sitting there typing in formulas. The answer is no, I don't have to. Once I have my first formula, I can actually delete this one, and I can then do this. There's a little trick. So I click on the formula or on the cell, and it makes a border. You must pay careful attention now, focus. Okay, it will do a border, and the bottom right hand side of that border is your autofill. That little thing, this black cross is the autofill. Click on it, hold the mouse pointer in, and we drag it down. And there is all our formulas. There are all the formulas, all the calculations. Excellent. Can I do it again? I can do it again. I'm going to delete and click. Hold the pointer, locate the autofill, bottom right. Click and drag, and there we go. And that is the formula copied. Call it autofill. System has done that for you. We talk about AI. Excel, one of the first forerunners of AI. It's got its own built-in functions that facilitates and helps you in the whole process of creating formulas. Excellent. Now, remember we have another additional column that we've created, and we need to calculate a total selling price including profit. Good. Now we're just going to put in the random amounts in terms of the quantity. Let's say we have 15 tablets. We have 23 earbuds. We've got 7 printers in stock. We have 26 smartphones and the same amount of chargers, obviously. Good. Little formatting needs to be done. Do you see that? Yes, we only need the 1 decimal place. And because we're still on number, we can just reduce the decimal place. So that looks a little bit better. What are we going to do with this now? Just stay with me. We're going to be calculating the total selling price, including profit. Now, we don't need to take into account the stock price or the profit margin, since it is already included in the selling price per unit. Does that make sense? Good. So, new formula always starts with is equal to. I prefer the bracket. We simply need to take in only these 2 columns, this column over here and that column over there. Still with me so far? Good. So I click, and now what am I going to do? What is my operator that I'm going to choose? Am I going to minus, plus, divide? Now, common sense. If this is the price per unit, it is obvious that I need to multiply. Make sense? There's our new formula. Let's click on it and see. Good. We've got the quantity selling price gives us a total selling price including the profit. Excellent. And the trick we showed you earlier is we just copy down. Amazing. Fantastic. Told you we're using a blank canvas and we're painting on this canvas. Amazing. There we now have created 2 sets of formula. Good. Now we're going to use the built-in formula that Excel has. In order to do that, we're going to calculate what is the total of the stock price, the grand total. And so we're simply going to select up to there, and we're going to click on formulas. And remember I showed you this little funny E, and we're going to click on the drop down, and we're going to click on sum. And there it gives me my total stock price. If you haven't done this formatting, you just need to format this to currency, like we showed you earlier, and you should be okay. Good. We're going to do the same over here. We're going to calculate this total selling price per unit. And now here we can just simply drag this formula or copy it across to there. And that should give me that formula. And there we are, creating a formula. Now you have the privilege of pausing the video, rewinding it, making sure that you understand these concepts. Good? And if you haven't done so yet, we're simply asking that you subscribe to the channel so that we can create more content like this for you. And even comment and say, no, I need a course on this or a course on that. But communicate with us. Drop a comment below so that we can create similar content for you, so that it can help you with your skills development. Good. Now we're going to move over to lesson 3, and that is working with charts. You still with me so far? Good. So we're going to create a chart, a 3D column chart, and we're going to add chart elements to it. We'll just check what are the chart elements that are part of the chart. Good. So let's look at our working document. We have got our working document over here, and here is creating a chart. And I just wanted to make sure that I have, okay, let me just go this way. Oh, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for this little instruction over here. Maybe I can just pull it this way. Pull this way. Let's just leave that for now. Okay, let's focus on the task at hand is to create a chart. Now there are the instructions 1, 2, and 3. Good. So remember, we have now completed our calculations, and we simply want to create a chart. We're going to keep it very, very simple, and we're going to follow these instructions. Now it tells you there, select the data for the chart. The data we're going to select will be item column as well as the stock price column. We're going to keep it very, very simple. Item and stock price will be our data. Then it tells you click on insert. And then it tells you click on the chart of your choice. My chart of choice is a 3D column chart, that one over there. Once I've accepted that, I make my selection, and there it is. Now let's do it. Let's delete that and just do it one more time, very, very slowly. Item and stock price is my data that I'm choosing for my chart, to display my chart. I click on the insert tab, and I click on the tab that says chart, and I select a 3D column chart, and there it is. Let's put it over there, and I'm just going to size it up a little bit. Let's do that quickly. And I'm going to just place it there and just size it up a little bit so we can follow the illustrations. Just move that a little bit that way. Good. So now we have our 3D column chart. And it tells you over there, it is stock price. And over here we have our vertical axis. And over here we have our horizontal axis. Good. And you will see that the chart used the data for item column and stock price column. Good. We're happy so far. Now, what is the representation or the presentation tell us? Presentation tells us that there are two little towers or buildings, or you want to call it, that are high. One is slightly higher than that one, or they could both be the same. But I'm thinking this one is a little bit higher than that one. Good. So it seems to me that the Samsung tablet and this item over here, which is the smartphone, they are our best in terms of the most in terms of the stock price. And the smallest one being the earbuds over here. That is quite obvious with our presentation. Good. Now we're going to add elements. Now you will see that when you click on the plot area or the chart area, the chart area, not the plot area. It's got two types of areas. Let's just stick with the chart area. It gives me a plus sign over there and it tells me that these are chart elements. Now I'm aware that you may not see this drop down on your screen right now. Therefore, I've created something else over here, a little text box with what exactly the display should be. But if you follow the instructions, you click on the plus sign, you should see chart elements. And then if you follow, it says axis. There it is. The axis being this over here, vertical and horizontal. Then the next one tells us axis title. So I'm going to click on there and you will notice that something's happened here at the bottom. It's now given me a text box but blank. It says axis title. And I'm going to select in there and I put my caps lock on and I'm just simply going to call it items. Over here, a little bit tricky. Just going to get used to that upside down. And I'm going to call that amounts. Just making sure that my spelling is correct. Yes, it is. Just move it a little bit out of the way. That one is fine. Good. So now I've given my axis titles or names, amounts and items. Going back to my plus sign, chart elements. The next one that it shows me is the chart title. The chart title is already pre-ticked by default. And that is the stock price. So I'm going to what I'm going to do there is I'm just going to edit the stock price, which is a chart title, which is there already. We're going to leave it at stock price. I'm simply going to change the font and maybe the font size. I think that's 16. Excellent. Then I'm going to click on data labels. And where do I want my data labels? Just give me a few options, but you'll see the data labels are automatically on top of my item presentation on the chart. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to click on it and just drag it a little bit away. And there you can see, and now there will be the confirmation of which of these two are the most expensive in terms of their stock price. Just get this up a little bit. There we go. That one is hiding away there. There There you go. And confirmation, they are both the same. Amazing. That is what the data labels will do for you. It actually now gives us the individual pricing of those items. Amazing. Good. And so that would be our chart elements. There are more, but we're not going to deal with the data table. The grid lines are simply these lines over here. And then the legend, at this stage, it's not necessary. As you see, if I put my cursor there and I'll click it on for you, it shows the color coding. And we don't need coding because we're only dealing with one type of color. So we're going to click that one off. Click that away. And that is creating a chart. Wonderful. Amazing. And that ends lesson 3. Can you believe it? And I'm sure you've gotten value out of this. And I'm going to remind you that we have only touched or scratched the surface in terms of what Excel can do. Remember, you need to boost your skills. So we only scratched the surface scratching in terms of what Excel can do for you. We have a full course on udemy.com. The course is entitled Excel Made Easy. Excel Made Easy on udemy.com, the full course. We wish you all the best. And we'll see you next time.